or welcome back to Penny's 2 Cents. It's your girl Penny, and this is my awesome dad.
George,
Dad, what
Penny making the cake.
Penny made a cake, guys. I made a cake. It looks absolutely delicious. You probably saw it in the thumbnail. I made a Raspberry Zinger Cake, and I decorated it. I have to say, I did a pretty good job. There's some things I can improve on. It's a little lopsided, but not too bad. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a baker, but please watch the video on how I made this cake in case you want to try it at home, in case you want to get brave and try making a cake. Some of y'all are. I got a few of the Penny Pinterest crew that are cake bakers and decorators. So I hope I made you proud today, okay? So watch that video. We'll come back and we're going to taste test this cake. Okay, guys, today is just for funsies, as my friend Shelly would say, my best friend of over 25 years. I calculated that up in my head. It's going towards 30 years. So anyway, can you believe that, Shelly? It's been 30 years we've been best friends. Anyway, I want to channel my inner Shelly because Shelly is the baker, okay? I am not the baker. But like I said, today is for funsies. I had this concept in my head. I can't say that I saw the recipe. I can't say I looked up the recipe. I'm just kind of putting this together, guys, okay? But I am getting some help from a pre-made box mix of cake, okay? But I'm going to put my spin on it. And I got some new kitchen tools, some new baking tools that I want to test out, just see how they work, okay? So today, I am going to make my version of a Raspberry Zingers. Have you seen those guys? They're made by Hostess, I believe. I'll put a picture of one up here. They used to be my favorite little Debbie snack cake type things. You know what I mean? But I think they're made by Hostess. But Raspberry Zingers, it's like a Twinkie. It's cream filled, right? Little sponge cake with it's covered in like a raspberry jam like stuff, and it's got a shaved coconut on it. Okay, so I'll put a picture up there. I'm shooting to make a cake. So, the adult version of those little kid snack cakes, okay? I haven't had a Zinger in a long, long time, the raspberry ones, but those used to be my favorite. So, I thought, why not try making a cake? You know? Okay, so that's what we're doing today. Stick with me, it's going to be a video, okay? It might be interesting, it might turn out good, it might be a flop, but we're doing it. Like I said, I'm using a box cake mix. I'm getting a little help from the box cake mix. Also, I am whipping together a frosting using some pre-made stuff to make one frosting. So I'm doing that afterwards to put in the refrigerator while these cakes are baking. And then I'm going to decorate it. Okay, I got some decorating tools. So, anyway, I wanted to show you these silicone baking bowls, baking pans, whatever you call it. They're silicone, right? I got these off of Amazon. There's three three pieces. There's three of these bowls, right? I got them off of Amazon. I'm going to put a picture or a screenshot if I can of them up here in case you see me use these and they turn out good and you need some. These are 8-inch ones, okay? I'm using 2. I'm putting 2 out on my biggest cookie sheet, and I tried this earlier and it just barely fit. We're going to make the one box cake mix into 2 thin layers, okay? So I don't need the third one. Okay, I'm putting them on the cookie sheet because they are so flimsy, right? So you want to get them on your cookie sheet and fill them on the cookie sheet. Okay, that is a pro tip. I do know that. Those are brand new though. I haven't used them. And the silicone, you're not supposed to use any kind of spray or anything, guys. They say the spray and stuff ruins them. You should be able to bake in them, let the thing completely cool, and they should dump out. And we're gonna find that out today. Okay. So, okay, we're making this box cake mix. I just got a buttery recipe yellow, super moist Betty Crocker. I think any yellow cake mix, even white cake mix, but I think the yellow cake mixes have like a little different, little flavor to them. And I like the butter ones. They get that little butter flavor. It's up to you. You do you. Anyway, I should have got my knife and I didn't. See if I can get this ripped open without spilling it everywhere. So I'm preheating the oven on 350. It just beeped while I was trying to scratch my nose and everything. So anyway, I'm preheating the oven for 350. Let's get this cake mix in this bowl. I'm making the cake just like the box says, guys. Just like the box says. It says a cup of water, a third cup of butter softened, and 3 yellow eggs. So I got my 3 yellow eggs. My three eggs. Yellow eggs. Why am I coming up with this stuff? I always crack it in a separate bowl, guys. I'm checking for score. I'm checking for, you know, any yucky parts. I hate to say the other part I like to say, but, and I'm making sure I don't get any shells in. So I always, ooh, score again. That's left-handed. I'm getting it in the sink left-handed. So I'm looking for bad eggs here. Looking for any yucky, I hate to say it, bloody parts. Okay, or make sure I don't get any shells in, because like I said, I'm not the best egg cracker, and I did three. I got 3 of them with my left hand in the sink. I'm just gonna give this a little whisk. I'm just want to make sure that I'm breaking up the egg. You don't have to do this. You can put it in the cake mix, but I just always have done this. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, did I get that all broke up good? You know, because you don't want to overwork your cake either. So let's get the eggs in. The eggs are in. The 1 cup of water. Some of it's on the table. I'm doing this by hand, guys. I just didn't want to get out the big mixer. All I got is an electric hand mixer. I don't have a stand mixer. And the 3rd cup of softened butter. Mine was lightly melted softened. Some melted, some softened. That's why I put my water here. Okay, let's get this mixed. Let's quit messing around. And I do know cake mix, you don't want to overwork it. You just want to make sure you get all your stuff incorporated. It's like any other bread product, anything with flour in it. You don't want to overwork it if you want it to be light and fluffy, right? How's the box explain mixing this? By hand, vigorously by hand for 2 minutes. Oh, 2 whole minutes, but you want to get some of the lumps out of it. I'm going to get Grandma with it. Get it in my arm here. Make the faces. I am not doing it for 2 minutes. I am going to get a little rough with it here. Just to make sure I got most of my stuff broken up. That's it, guys. That's all I'm doing it for. It looks mostly broken up to me. My cakes, these cakes always come out for me as far as like fluffiness, so I just do what I normally do. Okay, so I got my 2 silicone pans here. I'm gonna try to evenly pour. Try to get them as even as possible, so they cook as long, you know. If you get one too full, one not full enough, one will cook faster than the other. That's what I'm trying to say. I do know that. I know a few things. Just not, I don't claim to be a baker, guys. So this is just for funsies, right? Let's see here. Let's get this pans out here and get them on. I should have got my other spatula, but I didn't. I'm trying to stick my hands in it here. get cleaned out as best I can with this. That's what's happening. That is what's happening, guys. Now, these are really thin, okay? So, what all does it say here? 2 rounds, bake time, 28 to 30 minutes. So, I'm just doing what it says, guys. I am going to go, to be honest, at the 25 minutes, I am going to check it, okay? I'm going to take the toothpick, push it in the middle. If it comes out clean without any batter on it, then I'm going to take them out and I'm going to let them cool completely. So let me get these in the oven. Yeah, I didn't do the, you know, all your grandmas and moms used to make cake and they did the drop to get air bubbles out. I don't know. Does that really work? I did it, okay? So anyway, I am getting these in the oven for 25 minutes is what I'm going to go. But it says 28 to 33. Okay, so I'm going to get cleaned up. I'm going to get cleaned up. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing for the frosting. Okay, so let me get this in and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, my cakes are in the oven while they're baking. Let's make this frosting and then we can get it in the freezer, okay? This is I've heard it called multiple things. It's a pudding, whipped topping frosting, or a Cool Whip pudding frosting. There's so many different recipes for this. I'm going to kind of guess it here, okay? But the gist of it is 8-ounce thing of Cool Whip. Okay, make sure I got 8 ounce, yeah. 8-ounce thing of Cool Whip or whipped topping, store brand, it don't matter. You need a 3.4 ounce of Jell-O instant pudding. I'm doing cheesecake, okay? I just thought it would go good with the raspberry, okay? And I got 1 cup of milk. I also got some powdered sugar. Now I heard you put the powdered sugar if you want it sweeter, if you want it stiffer of a frosting. So I'm just going to get this mixed up and see how stiff the frosting is. And I'm going to taste it. I do need a couple spoons, but let me get a couple spoons and I'll be right back. I had some forks over there sitting on my counter, so I'm just going to use those as my tasters. Anyway, let's try this frosting. I've always liked whipped topping frostings, like from the grocery stores. I've always liked the whipped topping better than the old super thick icing. For one thing, it's fluffier, the whipped topping. It's less sweet and all those things. So that's why I wanted to try this. Make this at home. So let's get all our good Cool Whip off of here. Get it in our bowl. Yeah, I washed out my bowl. It's the same bowl I was using earlier. Washed it all out. Let's get all as much and all of this Cool Whip in here. You could use the store brand stuff, guys. It doesn't have to be the Cool Whip. I think I got this Cool Whip when it was on sale. I got some and threw them up in the freezer. I'm like, one day I'm going to make something. Well, this is one of the days. Oh, I messed up. I forgot, guys. I'm going to set this off to the side. I forgot. I need to whip this pudding up in another bowl. I got to talking and I totally forgot. I'm going to whip this pudding up. So I'm going to get this pudding in this bowl. You don't want to mess up your whipped topping. You want to leave it as fluffy as possible. But you want to get this pudding like somewhat stiffened. So let's get this cheesecake pudding in here. I think you can use any pudding you want, guys. You can use chocolate, use butterscotch, use vanilla, French vanilla, any instant pudding you want. But I decided cheesecake sounded good with my Raspberry Zinger theme, okay? So you put that in a bowl. You got 1 cup of cold milk. And we want to whip this up. You can get your electric blender out, put it in your big mixer, whatever you want to do. But I'm doing it by hand. So I want to get this whipped up. You know, it takes a couple minutes. You just got to keep working it. Anyway, what I was saying is grocery store icing. I was a chunky kid when I was a little girl, okay? I liked everything. Grocery store icing is one thing that I liked it, but it's so sweet and so, it's just super sweet, right? But if you remember back in the day, they mostly just used, I think, lard and sugar in that. And maybe a little butter. I don't even remember what they all I know is it was kind of granular, right? It wasn't that smooth stuff. Now they got smoother stuff now because they're making buttercreams and all that. But it's Giant Eagle, I think. Giant Eagle is the one that kind of got me interested in. I had never had like whipped topping icing until one day I had a Giant Eagle, some cupcakes, I think it was. And I found out it was whipped topping. And I really fell in love with that icing. Okay, so that's where I decided to do this. You want to whip this a little bit, get it stiff. It's already starting to get stiff, right? You want that instant pudding stuff to start setting up. Starting to get thick, guys. So now, this is when I want to put this in my whipped topping. See, it's pretty darn. Let's give it a few more whisks here. It's thick, okay? It's not really gonna, it's trying to pour out of the bowl, but not really. A little more elbow grease in here. You really don't need a lot. It's just a bit thick. Okay, now, here's where the whipped topping comes in with the pudding mix. I've never tasted this before, so I'm gonna. I never had the cream or the cheesecake one, so that's gonna give it a good little flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in my whipped topping. All the goodness if I can. Do you guys watch other videos and you see people getting stuff out of cans or bowls and you're like, man, you left half of it in the bowl? That'd be like, I want to live in that house where I can lick the bowl. I'd be like, I'll do the dishes. Oh, shoot. Okay. I am gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla extract in here. I don't think, if you don't have it, I don't think you need it, but there's something about baking and doing vanilla extract and putting a teaspoon in, so I'm gonna do it. I really don't think you need it. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a stiff enough frosting. Now I am going to put this in the refrigerator, okay? So I am going to let it set up a little bit more. I'm doing a light fold here of my cream cheese and my whipped topping. I'm not going to go too crazy. I want to give it a quick little fold here. Try to get it pretty much combined. I am going to do a taste, okay? I'm checking for sweetness. Like I said, the powdered sugar I've seen in a few recipes to make it like thicker if you want it like thicker. This is pretty fluffy fluff, okay? So, I don't know. Like I said, this is for funsies. I don't know. Don't know how this is going to turn out. So I'm just going to do a little dip here. Ooh. Okay. I think you could leave it like this. I do. But I just want to add, some recipes said about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I'm not even doing that, guys. I'm just going to give it a little sprinkle. I know that's not 1/4 cup. And I'm stopping there, okay? Well, there goes the bowl. I'm going to give this a mix. Just a little mix. You saw how much I put in. It was under 1/4 cup, okay? I think the powdered sugar will make it a little stiffer. It's a little thinner than the whipped topping you buy in the store. You know, the whipped cream cheese topping you buy in the store. It's a little thinner than that. But I think if the pudding is a little colder in the refrigerator, I think it will set up a little bit more. But we're going with it, okay? I am going to do another, this is my clean fork here. If you like a lighter whipped topping and not that thick icing stuff, I think you're going to love any combination that you make with this pudding. I think you would love it. So try this out on any of your cupcakes, cookies, whatever. Try this out because I have a feeling, I'm just going to leave my spatula in there because that's what I'm going to use to transfer. I actually got a cake pedestal and an offset spatulas and some bags. I'm actually going to try to pipe this on, okay? So when I get to that part, I will show you a picture of that too for Amazon. Those cake pans that I showed you earlier, I'll probably put it on the video. Those were like $15 for all 3 of them, okay? So anyway, I'm going to let those cake, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Let it chill up, let it get nice and cold. The cakes, when they come out, I'm going to leave them in their silicone pans, pull them out, set them on top of the stove, and I'm going to let them completely cool, okay? Completely cool. Then I'm going to bring them to turn them out over here, let you see how well they come out of the silicone or not. And then we're going to start decorating. I'm not a cake decorator, guys. We will see how good I do. This, like I said, just for funsies. So anyway, stay right here and I'll be back when the cakes are done. Okay, guys, the cakes are out of the oven. I got everything over here. I got to resituate my stuff. So I don't need I got my frosting all nice and chilled. We need to try to get these cakes cut and put on our pedestal so we can do stuff to it, okay? Let me make some room here. I had to wash all my attachments that you're going to see me use. But we need to get these cakes cut. What I'm saying is, you know how it has the dome, right? So we got to get the cakes cut. Let me set this off, I got my cookie sheet here. Like I said, guys, I'm not a baker, so I'm going to try my best. But let's dump these out. I think this cake is coming up away from the silicone. I think these are great little, wow. Yeah. Just kind of shake it. There's my cake, guys. It released really, really good. So it's flat on this side, right? The part that was on the bottom. But this part is a little domed, okay? So I'm going to try my best. It's not going to be perfect. And my cake's a little flat on this side, a little thicker on this side, okay? Where do I start here? I'm going to kind of use my cookie sheet as my guide here. I'm going to try to even it up just a little bit with my bread knife. I'm just trying to go across here. I'm going to even it up just a little bit, okay? It's not going to be perfect because this end is really, really low. I'll take a little bit more off of here. I think this is going to be my bottom layer. I don't know, I'm going with it, guys. If you want to know about this pedestal, so I got this pedestal. It turns. I like because it's not very tall. It would be perfect for here at the table. It come with all the different tips, okay? It come with a coupler to put in your bags. You got a couple you got some disposable bags and some two reusable bags. It come with a little guide about the tips. And it come with 2 spatulas, the offset spatula and a regular spatula. Okay, I'm going to try to put a screenshot over here. If you're wanting to get you a starter kit for your making some cakes, that's the one I got. If you're interested, I didn't spend a whole lot of money. Okay, I'm being kind of thrifty, so I didn't spend a whole lot of money. But it come with 2 reusable bags and a bunch of reusable bags and some throwaway bags. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Now I know a lot of bakers. Trying to decide here. I know a lot of bakers like put stuff down on, it's not going to go nowhere. I learned this from Shelly, and I've seen other bakers too. They put like a little bit of frosting on that pedestal, but I just pushed on this. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so I'm not going to put any frosting down to hold it on there. Here's my other cake layer. Let's get it trimmed. I'm super excited to try this. I really, really am. See how tasty this is going to be. I'm going to flip her back over because that's the flat side. I want to cut a little bit off. Now this one was a little more even. And I'm working on my little table here, so. You want to take that dome off if you want your cake to lay kind of flat, okay? You're eating it just at home. You can do it any way you want to, I would say. And this is going to be my top part. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Here's this middle part. Like I said, I decided to make, and sorry about the light, we got a sliding glass window there, and I closed it, but the light still, there's what, one little ledge up there that's not covered, so I'm sorry there's light on my forehead. But anyway, I'm making a raspberry zinger cake. That was my idea. That's what I wanted to do. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I got red raspberry jam, seedless jam. Okay, and the reason why I also came up with this, Shelly used to make this trifle dessert that was great with pudding, whipped topping, angel food cake, and raspberry jam, and I always loved that dessert. So this is kind of making that, but in a different way. Now, this is my question. Am I going to have to microwave some of this to make it spreadable? But I want to have a layer of this in the middle of my middle two layers. Dump my head down. Okay. I left this out of the refrigerator because I figured I wanted it to be spreadable. Okay. This is also going to go on the very, very top as well. Let me know, guys. You think this is going to be good? Let me know. You can also get raspberry filling for like pies. Okay, so I did contemplate doing that, but I thought, no, let's get the raspberry jam. If I don't use it all for this, I could use it in something else, right? So I want to make a layer in here, but I want to save enough for my top. And this is what's good about the turntable. You can move it around, and it's not going to be perfect, guys.
2 notifications.
There goes Dad's phone. It's not going to be perfect. Like I said, I am not a cake decorator. I'm not. I know I don't want to go all the way out to the edge, because I don't want it leaking out. And I want to make sure that I'm not using, because my big layer I want to look nice and coated, okay? My top layer. You'll see what I mean when I get there. If I get there. If this thing's gonna set up, it's got a little bit of a lean to it, okay? Okay, my next ingredient, I got sweetened coconut flakes, guys. Sweetened coconut flakes. I want to stay in the theme here. I want to have a little bit of coconut on here. You can leave this out if you hate coconut. But I like it with this raspberry stuff, so. And I'm not going heavy on it. I just want to stay in the theme. Okay. Just putting a little thin layer in there. Now I want my top. Got so much stuff going on here. I want to shake off some of these crumbs and try not to break my cake. Okay. I'm gonna stick this out of the way. Luna, you want some cake crumbs? I got to get that out of the way. I ain't got enough room on my table. So I kind of want to make sure my cake's in the center here. Not looking too bad, guys. Look at that. You can tell where my cake was really thin on this side. Just kind of making sure that it's pretty centered. I'm going with that, okay? I'm going with that. Now I want to put my, what do I want to do? Yeah, I'm going to get my raspberry jam on top here. Then we're going to put frosting around the outside, okay? I'm going to give this jam a little more of a stir here. Try to get it a little bit not so chunky. Now that I've taken some out of the jar. There, yeah. Perfect. I do want to get a really good layer. Okay, because that's what this cake is. This is going to be a raspberry. I'm going to go like almost out to the edge. Luna's down here licking cake off that cookie sheet, guys. Luna's the cat. Okay, if you're new to the channel, she's a cat. I've shown her a few times. But anyway, I think Dad's excited to try this cake. I don't make cakes often because I'm not, like I said, I'm not that baker. I'm trying. I'm trying. I really am. I'm really wanting to become that. Because I see so many pretty cake decorations and I'm always like, that looks so good. You know what I mean? I got a really good layer on this, guys. I'm happy with it. So we used, what was that jar? This jar is an 18 ounce. We used 3/4 of it total. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to put my coconut on now, okay? I just want to do my little... And I might be doing this backwards. Maybe I should have did the side frosting first. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure I got my main part of this cake. You could leave it alone like now, I think. You know what I mean? I think you could just go, hey, I'm done. I think you could. But we're going to go a little further. We're going to see if I can make a mess with this frosting. That's what we're going to see. Okay, here's my thoughts. I want to get the frosting around the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But I also, I want to try out my bag with one of my tips. I kind of want to make, frosting, even if it's around, I don't know, something on the top there, okay? On the edge. That's why I didn't put my glaze all the way out to the edge. Guys, I'm scared. I'm scared that I am going to mess this up. Here's what my frosting looks like, okay? I'm going to start on the side here that actually has a good starting point. I wish you could see how I'm starting us off. I think I did good. I think I got a good start here. I'm just bringing it up, trying to fill in the cracks. And this part where my cake is really thin is like, oh. I'm pushing my levels here, guys. I'm pushing my expertise, okay? This is pushing it because I have just never been a cake decorator. I could cook. I can home cook with some of the best of them. I can. I will admit that. But doing cakes and bakery items, I've surprised myself lately. All I'm doing is putting some on this spatula and just kind of pulling it up. That's all I'm doing right now, guys. I might try to even it out here in a little bit. But I'm basically just making sure that that crack in the middle, the two layers has a good layer of that frosting in it. basically what I'm doing. Nothing, you see me. No special techniques here. Going as I go, doing it as I go. It's kind of working for me though, it really is. Shocking enough. Wow. Okay. That's what I did. I went around it. Now, my little thing came with some tools that kind of makes me want to try. I just want to see really quick if I can even do this. It comes with like a little serrated edge. Maybe this edge would be kind of cool. Let's see. I'm just holding it up against my frosting, putting a little bit of pressure, and I'm turning. That's all I'm doing, guys. Have I made it all the way around? I've made it all the way around. I'm going to try to make this look like it wasn't a stopping point there. That looks, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Guys, look. Look at that. Wow. Okay. I am happy with that. I'm super happy with that. Wow. Okay. I do want to use my piping bag, and I want to put like dollops, right? I want to put like dollops around here. I think it will look cool. It came with this little book, right? And it came with, like, it shows the tips and what kind of dollops the tips do. Let me look really quick. K36. I think this is going to do the dollop that I want. The little, what do you call them? Roses or whatever, but it's not a rose. So anyway, they got a coupler. You could put the coupler on. That way you can just screw your lid on. But that's if you're changing out with different things. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do with what I got. And you can cut it, but I think you can cut the bag to fit all that, but I don't think I need to. No, it goes down in there and stays in the bag, okay? So I got that tip in there. Now, I've seen so many people put this in a big glass, and I looked for a big glass, and I don't have a big glass. So I'm just going to wheel this down a little bit, and I'm going to get some of this frosting in here, okay? Probably going to make a mess, but I've seen everybody make messes with these, so. It's got a little, if you had somebody holding your bag, that would be nice too. Got this knife in the way. Spatula. I want to make sure I have plenty of this frosting in here because I do not want to have to refill it. I know I'm making faces. Okay. Quality control. Wow. Wow. That's so good. Oh my God. Okay. Now you want to gather this up. You want to twist it and push all that icing down. And I wanted to do like a little test. Take one of my cake pans here. I want to do like a little test so I could see how much I'm going to have to squeeze this thing, you know. what kind of technique I'm going to go with here. Okay, starting to come out. Man, okay. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. This is the part that scares me. Okay. Here we go. I hear emergency sirens. I hate hearing that. I hope they're okay. You can tell I'm not a decorator. I'm getting a little more confident with it. You can see that I'm making a little bit bigger ones on this side, but and if you want it to point up, you kind of like pull it up. I'm learning. I'm learning as I go, guys. You can tell my cake's lopsided. But look! Look at what I did! Wow. I'm so excited. This frosting's so good, guys. I got a whole bunch here. I kind of want to do like a... I don't know if I can keep squeezing it or not. Yeah, I can. I should have cleaned it before. I can't help it, man. I need a napkin here. I want to do one little thing. I want to go around. I'm going on the base of the cake pedestal to try to like do a little clean. I am so shocked at myself right now. I really, really am. I truly thought this was going to be a disaster, guys. I thought in concept, oh, this will be so pretty. And in my mind, I'm like, this is going to be a disaster because I'm not a cake decorator. As I've said, I am not. But this looks absolutely amazing. Wow. There's my creation, guys. So I want you not to be scared, okay? I want you to test yourself. You're at home. You're not impressing anybody. You know what I mean? It can look ugly and still taste great. But I am really, really happy with this. I really, really am. So anyway, I'm going to get cleaned up a little bit. Get my things put away. Clean my table off a little bit. And me and Dad's going to cut into this cake and taste it for you and let you know if it's any good or not, okay?